So, meine Damen und Herren, wir gehen zum nächsten Vortrag. We're heading on to the next talk, which will be in English again. It's Kremming from MessengerPeople, and she will be talking about conversational commerce in depth. Just hold on for a second.
Hi, I'm happy to be here today, this afternoon, and I'm happy to talk about the real possibilities of conversational commerce with you here in the room as well as outside on the screens. So a few words about me. I'm Katharina. I'm Senior Communications Manager at MessengerPeople. My background is the PR. I did a lot of classic PR for companies like Lufthansa and Deutsche Bahn and Holiday Check. So yeah, communication is my passion, which also led me to MessengerPeople because I'm also very interested in new communication ways. So for MessengerPeople, I'm responsible for corporate communication as well and also for the events. And for these ones who don't know what is MessengerPeople, we're a software solution which makes it possible for companies to talk and connect with their customers over the most relevant messenger apps. So yeah, we heard a lot about all the messengers today, and I think that's not a news and no surprise, but I thought it's a smooth starter. So here we have the world, and we see who is the star of the messenger world. It's WhatsApp definitely, and on the second place, it's also a Facebook company, the Facebook Messenger. So what is more interesting to talk about is which of these messenger apps are really relevant for businesses and for conversational business. So we looked at the reach of the messenger, of course that's also quite important, and also on the options businesses have to use the messages in a scalable and professional way. We have here a top 5 and the pink segment, and we're going to talk about these 5 messengers during the next minutes. Yes, which is quite interesting, and I start with great news, which arrived this summer. Facebook opened the Messenger API for Instagram for all kind of companies now. So I think that's very good news because if you look at current numbers, there are 150 million monthly active users who are writing to companies via direct messages on Instagram. So I think there's a great potential for companies to also use this messenger and get it more on a scalable and a professional way. And yeah, it's nice. We already have a few best cases for the Instagram messaging. So we have some companies in the US who started quite early and they're generating more leads via this messenger. So Kiehl's has a very good conversion rate from consultation to sale, for example, and Ford and Avon, they generate more leads and new contacts via the new opportunities. And there's the other topic. There are other companies who are optimization is going to the customer communication part. So there are reduction in hotline costs due to the fact that they're using Instagram direct messaging on a more professional and scalable way, and also reduction in response time. They're very impressive. But there are 4 of the other messengers you saw at the beginning. So I start with iMessage. I think it's a nice messenger. It has a lot of features for conversational businesses, but there's the point that the reach is quite limited. So, but if you are a company who has a premium target group who is mainly using iOS, then it's the perfect channel to do conversational business because there you have so many features, especially like WhatsApp. Apple Pay included. So here you can have the whole customer journey in the messenger. Then there's Telegram. I think Telegram doesn't have the best reputation, and some people say it's more secure than WhatsApp and Co, which is, at the end wrong. But it's a very good channel to set up a fast messenger newsletter. So it's just a few steps, and the company can distribute a messenger newsletter through Telegram. Then we have the Facebook Messenger, number 2 in the world. So it has diverse promotion options. I think you already know it and everybody looked into it. Um, but it's more a community management messenger, I would say, because there are more quizzes and games and interactions with the people also from the Facebook network. And if you look into the newsletter or marketing options, they are quite limited because Facebook just allowed media companies to push news to customers or readers. Last but not least, the biggest one, by far the most popular messenger app, of course, we heard that several times today. Here is the focus quite clear. It's conversational, and there are many companies who already use it for consulting service or also for conversational marketing. There's a great potential in doing a really good job at customer relationship and do it in a way that it also has a good impact on sales. Yes, and we can say, Matthias already said that in his talk round, nobody has to be afraid that the people are leaving WhatsApp. Of course, at the beginning of the year, there were a lot of struggles, but I think it doesn't end in a significant walk away from the messenger. And a real USP of the Messenger is, I would say, compared to other social media channels, especially, is that everybody is using this channel. So businesses have a great potential to reach every age group via WhatsApp. And I think that also was seen by WhatsApp, and so they developed different business solutions. So I make a short run through the ecosystem of WhatsApp. So everybody knows WhatsApp, which we're using to text with our friends and families. And then we have two business solutions, the WhatsApp Business app, which is for small companies and it's run through a device like a normal smartphone. And that makes it a bit complicated in the GDPR compliant topics. If you want to be really on the safe side, then you should have a look at the API, which is build up for medium and large companies and brings a lot of features for conversational business. Especially, we heard about the news that newsletters are back again, and that is possible only via the WhatsApp Business API. If we look into the use cases that are at the moment quite successful, we have a small group which is using WhatsApp and the other messengers for marketing. And when you look into this action, it's more like interaction campaigns like quizzes or games. Then we have the segment of HR. So there are companies who are doing their application processes via WhatsApp and using therefore chatbots. For example, Manpower, who's globally recruiting people, they're using a chatbot, to get all the information from the ones who are searching for jobs. And in between, we have the huge group of companies who are using WhatsApp for pre-sales and customer service. And here we are real in the deep, we're very deep in the topic of conversational. So these two parts are, the very key points for conversational commerce. So in this segment, there are different companies who have different needs, and these can be handled by using WhatsApp. So on the one side, we have the specialist companies who are like maybe B2B, or they're focusing on special sneakers, or they're focusing like Miss Pompadour on color retail. They have often products which need more explanation or more support in implementing them. So they need a channel where they can make a maximum personal consulting, and which leads at the end to more sales as well. And then we have the big player, for example, like Booking and Zalando, and they have a huge amount of customer service they have to handle every day, and they are searching always for make it more efficient. So there are chances to use the automation possibilities on WhatsApp to make a cost reduction and also to make it more efficient. In between are the commodities and brands, and we heard already a lot of use cases today, which are using WhatsApp to build a real relation with their customers. So that's a perfect match for a customer lifetime value and to lower the costs, even when it's about to get the customer back on track or push him to make another purchase. There's a nice example from the bicycle store Rose. He's a specialist, of course, and during the lockdown, they had to close all of their stores. So they said, but the people want to buy bicycles. Everybody wants to buy bicycles now. What can we do? And so they set up a WhatsApp service in 5 days and made a really good sale. So they had 45 increase in sale just by using WhatsApp as a consulting and purchase channel. There's a very good podcast where the CEO, Markus Diekmann, is talking about his experience with WhatsApp, what we cannot hear now, but I really can recommend it. But what he says in the podcast is don't spend a year writing a concept first for implementing WhatsApp as a channel for consulting or commerce. You should start it right now. And they did that in 5 days. And they had more sales with WhatsApp than when the store is open. Another example, also Matthias already mentioned, is Miss Pompadour. So if you are a customer and you go on the website from Miss Pompadour, you cannot pass to get in touch with them via WhatsApp because that's the way it should work. The company wants to get in real connection with the customer and starts a conversation. They get 500 inquiries a day, which is quite a lot, and it's quite a lot of work because they're, for example, not using a chatbot. But the CEO says it's worth it because at the end, 9 out of 10 chats lead to real purchase of their products. These kind of activities were currently honored by the Best Retail Cases Award. So yeah, they are one of the most successful WhatsApp channels in Germany, I would say. Yes, 500 inquiries are quite a lot. And so the next step to talk about is like chatbots. And also already in 2016, there was the idea, let's do a fully automating shopping chatbot. And all the big brands said, yes, I have to do this. And they did it. But what happened? Nobody wanted to buy from a chatbot. So, but still, the topic is that chatbot continue to gain ground. So there are currently many studies who underline this. If you look into the details, the customer wants to get quite individual and personal consultation. But the customer is also open for a combination with a chatbot who is like doing a pre-qualification of the request first. But I think they also needed that it's quite transparent, that the customer knows who he's talking to. We talk about, or we name it technology assistant communications, so it should be a good match between a chatbot and a real agent. The next level is then to integrate also shopware software, so the agent has the possibility to send the right products just with a few clicks, and also the customer has the chance to make just one click and put the favorite product into his basket, and then there will be a link created automatically to buy the product at the end on a website outside of WhatsApp. That's quite important because these kind of integration we need at the moment, because WhatsApp is not providing all these kind of features yet. So, but you should not be afraid of doing this. So you should really use the chance to integrate WhatsApp in your order process. So, for example, Women's Best, it's an e-commerce who for women's sportswear. They integrated it in their order process. So they're asking, do you want to have the notifications about your order via WhatsApp? And most of them are doing this, and they get in a really close relationship automatically. Also, Erwin Müller, which is quite an old-fashioned brand, I would say, but they're very good and digital things. And if they see problems, they want to, solve it with modern ways. So they have a lot of questions. Where is my order? And so they implemented it in their process that you can get the option to get updates also via WhatsApp. And these are sent out automatically. So the customer receives their confirmation of the delivery and also a link with it where he can track where his order is. And the head of the communication center says every WhatsApp message instead of a phone call or email saves a lot of costs and a lot of time. And at the end, they have the direct contact to the customer as well and can use that also for sales supportive measures. Like we already talked about messenger newsletters who are back. Yeah, they're kind of back, I would say. Short throwback. It was a very successful format, 5 years, and then WhatsApp decided, we're too afraid of spamming, so we set a pause on that. But everybody was very impressed by the KPIs the Messenger newsletter brought with. We already talked about that, and we had very many companies who were very successful. For example, like the Urlaubspiraten, they had a 1 million subscriber for their WhatsApp newsletter. But there is a small but, because it's not the same as it was like a few years ago. The options to send out push notifications are more focused on commerce use cases. So companies have the opportunity to send additional services, to send push notifications for additional services or new products, or a push notification to special occasions like, for example, Black Friday. And at all, when we look at the customer journey in total, then WhatsApp is quite a good channel, I would say, because every part can be done. Mainly every part, just the purchase is excluded on a website. But the customer can get a very personal consultation. He can order, he can get his problem solved, and he can be re-engaged with the option to send promotional messages to it. So at the end, we have lower customer acquisition costs, higher conversion per customer, higher retention, fewer returns as well. And the customer is quite happy at the end because he's using the channel he's using with his friends and family as easy as it is in a daily. But yes, the key for the treasure box is at the end, and we heard that already, is to promote that you are using the channel. You have to place it as prominent as possible on every touch point the customer gets with you. We saw that already at Miss Pompadour website, and now we have another example where it's directly next to the product. And I think WhatsApp already understand that as well. So we heard also about the test they're doing in Brazil. So they are testing so-called a business directory. So the customer can go into his WhatsApp and search for companies in its surrounding, and with one click can get in touch with them and, for example, order a pizza, which is the easiest use case we already had in the talks. Yes, and it's also easy to stay updated if you are interested in use cases and all the features for conversational businesses. There's our Messenger playbook, which is updated on a very regular basis. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Katharina. And the Messenger playbook you can download via WhatsApp?
Yes. Indirectly, no.
I'm sorry.
If you're asking us, then you get it directly, yes.
Okay. So I have a handful of questions. You mentioned before the idea of using the Messenger API in Instagram via versus direct messages, which a lot of companies do. So what's the difference?
The difference is that the companies have just had the option to answer on a device. So you can imagine there's maybe some Bon Prix, for example, which has a lot of followers, I guess, on Instagram and gets a lot of links and direct mentions. to be somebody sitting with a smartphone and answering this, and I think that's not scalable.
That's like the ancient times. Yeah, you're right. And with the API, you can integrate that into different kinds of software.
Yeah, you can integrate it in any kinds of software you would like if you have the resources, or you using a software solution provider who had integrated the API, and then you have like one box with all the Messenger apps, and yeah, it doesn't matter if the message is coming from Instagram or from WhatsApp, you can answer it on desktop and one interface.
So we talked a lot about the possibilities you have using WhatsApp in different areas, not only in commerce, but also in service and what else. What I wondered, if we put it all together, like the idea what we play out, but also the processes behind,
Yes.
how cost intensive is such a project? Where does it start?
It depends. I think, as Matthias already mentioned, it's the one side is to get the team. The other side is to get the right software solution or to build their own software solution. It depends on the resources. Most of the software starts with a few €100 per month, so I think that's okay. And then the part of WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is charging, but if the customer writes first, so the customer has a problem, then the conversation is for 24 hours, no charge. So free of charge. But if the company wants to get in contact with the customer after a 25-hour window, or wants to push with the information, then the company has to pay, and that's in Germany, for example, 7 cents per message.
Per message, and it's always a single message to one person,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
We don't have a one-to-many channel in that. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, if we look at e-commerce, and we talked a lot about which products you could sell via WhatsApp, and if we look at the target groups adopting this channel, we start obviously from a younger target group, and we'll come to the tractor sometime later. But what about different types of products? I wondered when could we see media sales, like selling a new movie to be streamed via a channel like WhatsApp? Will we see that?
So Netflix already had a campaign via WhatsApp, so that was a marketing campaign to push new movies coming out. So more from the marketing perspective, I think this way can go furthermore, because now promotional messages are back. It depends on how you use it, but I think for selling a movie, I'm not sure if it needs so many conversations. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. It's not so explanatory, but then let's take the opposite one. How about consultancy? Could I sell a consultant talk on or consultant chat on WhatsApp?
We had a client who were consulting parents for their love life. And it was like their business was like they had to subscribe for the service, pay for it, and then they got the consulting via WhatsApp. So that is, for example, a way you can, at the end, monetize your consultancy via WhatsApp. The other way around, yes, I think you can also sell.
So you could use it as a business or a channel within your business model. Yeah, that's it. Katharina, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for talking to us, and we have a lot more ideas about commerce in conversational area.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So, guys and girls, we're going into a 15 minutes break. Grab your coffee, and don't forget, on 4:30 we have our big surprise for you.